he reminded me a lot of some old-timer stockbrokers that I knew relatively early in my investment career. Very much a dying breed. I don't think you'll find too many people who can convey all these stories from back when. In chapter 4, Pisani talks about a story that Art Cashin tells about November 1963. And on this day in November 1963, November 22nd, 1963, I think everyone knows where I'm going with this. Cash is on the floor of the exchange, and he notices that there's a lot of heavy selling by Merrill Lynch. And of course, at the time, we don't really appreciate this today, but at the time, you did not have an instantaneous news cycle. When President Kennedy was in Dallas, that was a national news. I mean, that wasn't a huge event. It became a huge event later. So he notices Merrill is doing all the selling, but there's no news coming on the newswire or anything. Well, it turns out that Merrill had some brokers in Dallas. They didn't know what happened, but they knew that the president's motorcade had been rerouted. And there was talk about the parade being canceled and everything, and they just kind of inferred that nothing good had happened. And of course, it came out later that the president had been assassinated. But this all happened. In other words, the market incorporated this before this ever hit the newswires. So Cashin conveys that story, and I think it's very interesting about how efficient stock markets can be in incorporating information.